morning after the warm-up, took his motorcycle and went down inside that turn and sat there for a long period, making his mind up at the type of move he might make. I'm sure he didn't anticipate this being the result.
Well, last year Kenny Brack used an inside pass to take the lead and win the Grand Prix of Chicago. This year he tried it outside, and it all came to tears. We'll take a break and return live to Chicago.
The CBS Auto Racing Series is sponsored by FedEx, proud sponsor of the FedEx Championship Series. Toyota, get the feeling. And by Bridgestone Tires, advanced technology that gives you a grip on the future. FedEx presents Championship Solutions. Here's Bob Varsha.
In the highly competitive environment of the CART FedEx Championship Series, teamwork is a critical component to success on the track. Nothing showcases the importance of teamwork in champ car racing like the adrenaline-pumping pit stops, the ultimate coordination between pit crew and driver. Pit crew members must be skilled, fast, and organized. Each team knows that an efficient, well-orchestrated stop can enhance their driver's chances for a podium finish. Like a well-choreographed ballet, 6 pit crew members, consisting of 4 tire changers, a jackman, and a fuel man, go over the wall simultaneously to perform their specialized tasks. The goal? 4 fresh tires, a full load of fuel, and, if needed, a wing adjustment to improve the handling of the car, all within 12 seconds. FedEx shares these same principles of fast, efficient, and reliable teamwork in order to meet the time-definite shipping needs of CART, its teams, and suppliers. When a supplier sends an important part to a team at the track through FedEx Express Delivery Service, they may only see a courier or the friendly faces inside a FedEx World Service Center. But there are 143,000 dedicated employees worldwide working together to deliver that part, along with more than 3 million packages daily. Here at Chicago Motor Speedway, we are still cleaning up following a first lap, first turn collision between 2 of the most experienced drivers in the CART FedEx Championship Series. For Jimmy Vasser, driver of the yellow and white shell car right there, his 4th DNF, or did not finish, in 7 races this year. For the 96 Series champion, for Kenny Brack, his 3rd DNF of the season. Let's take another look, Derek Haley.
And watch here in slow-mo. We're going to stop the video right at the time where Kenny Brack makes the brave move down the outside. Kenny is down here. Watch him try to go. There's Jimmy right there. Kenny goes around the outside. Now stop the video right there. Stop. Now Kenny needs to stay on this line. And as you see, he actually turns across on top of Jimmy right there. Roll the rest of the video. Jimmy has nowhere to go. Boom. Turns down. Jimmy was definitely mugged. And he had nothing to do but be the innocent bystander.
Now from Vasser's onboard camera, let's watch and listen.
That's how quickly it happened. You can tell. You see, Jimmy was outside Paul Tracy. He had nowhere to go. He could not turn down. But Jimmy, or Kenny, looked like he was doing 50 miles an hour more than Jimmy when he tried to chop across his bows, and it didn't work.
Jan Beekes.
With Mark Johnson, who, of course, is on the radio with Jimmy Vasser. First of all, your take on what you saw in the replays.
Well, Jan, we've just seen the replay here in the stand, and it looks like Kenny got a little rambunctious there at the start and tried to get around the outside and just came down probably a little earlier than he should have, and looked like his left rear collected Jimmy's right front.
Now, is that somewhat out of character? Obviously, Kenny was on your team last year. Your take on why that may have happened between he and Jimmy?
Oh, I don't know, Jan. I mean, it's, you know, we'll term it one of those racing things today. You know, I know that Kenny's a heck of a good racer, and he's a hard racer, and he'll race you hard and clean all day long. So, you know, it's probably something that should have happened on the first lap. It was a long race today, and I feel bad for these guys on the Shell Cosworth Lola. We had a good car, and, you know, obviously felt like we had a good shot. So we'll be in Toronto next week. Try and catch a better break there.
All right, sorry you're out early. Thanks.
Thanks.
Thank you, Jan. Christian Fittipaldi took this opportunity on lap number 9 for a pit stop, 4 fresh tires. He may have run over some debris. Michel Jourdain Jr. has also stopped.
There is Christian.
Rather than later, in the hope we won't lose too much track position. but the guys who are immediately in front of you, I will almost guarantee they're going to come in and take fuel here at some point.
And this is a time when there is a lot of discussion back and forth from the team in the pit lane to the driver to try and strategically now run this race with an incident like this.
Come again. They don't stop. The fuel here doesn't work out.
Fittipaldi asking questions of his crew.
Even if they do, Christian, we got 8 laps on them now. We got 8 laps later in the end of the stint. I think this was a good move. We were close enough to the back. This was a good move.
Close enough to the back is what he said.
Right. The cars ahead will pit, so Fittipaldi will move up.
And the nearer you are to the back, the easier it is to take the gamble because you're at the back anyway. So come in, take a gamble, put yourself out of sequence, and you haven't lost hardly any track position. Ralph?
Well, we're here with Jimmy Vasser, who's walked out of the care center. Jimmy, can you tell us what happened from your perspective?
You know, I was focused. PT kind of came up, got a good run in the middle, and he kind of came up a bit. And I had my eyes on PT, and I really didn't, you know, I didn't expect to get hit on the outside like that. I was just kind of going through, filing through on my line, I thought, and yeah, Kenny came up on the outside pretty hot, and somehow we clipped. You know, I don't really want to put blame on anybody. I guess it's a racing thing, but you know, it's 250 laps, and to go out on the first corner, you know, it's a little disheartening. So, you know, it's too bad for the shell car. I think we had a good shot today. Got next week. So,
thank you, Jimmy.
Thanks, Ralph. PT is Paul Tracy, who started behind Vasser and Brack alongside Michael Andretti. And as you saw in those replays, Tracy and Andretti both very lucky not to be caught up in that accident.
Exactly. Tracy's right front wing almost got clipped. You saw the piece earlier that Ralph did with Kenny Brack's drink bottle. Obviously, Kenny's not going to need it, but interesting. Tagliani also has a similar drink bottle in his car. We just listened to his radio, and Neil Mickelwright told him, he said, if you want the drink to be cold, you better drink it within the next 2 minutes. That's as long as that's going to last.
Neil Mickelwright, a very laconic Englishman who works on the radio with Alex Tagliani. It's been an interesting weekend for Tags. Blew an engine in the one practice session before qualifying. Went out and qualified second in this field. Sat on provisional pole for some time with his Ford-powered Reynard chassis. There you see Alex Tagliani, Canadian, now makes his home in Las Vegas, Nevada. Still looking for his first career Kart FedEx Championship Series victory.
And in the warm-up this morning, the half-hour session that they run every race morning, he was actually third fastest on full tanks behind Fernandez and Scott Dixon.
Okay,
interestingly enough,
one finger this time by. You're seeing one finger this time by. Copy.
And that is the voice of Neil Mickelwright. Interestingly enough, Cristiano D'Amata ran more laps than anybody this morning. Ran a 30-lap run. Said he was very happy with the car despite being only 15th fastest. But he did have an air of confidence about him, as did Kenny Seawick and Tim Coffeen on his car. So we're going to watch how D'Amata challenges Tagliani, Kanaan, and Dario Franchitti.
There is Cristiano D'Amata.
Nice tight pack here. Good clean restart.
That is Kenny Seawick talking to Chris, as he calls him, D'Amata.
The order coming to the flag is Franchitti, Tagliani, Kanaan, D'Amata, Junqueira, Fernandez, Tracy, Carpentier, Takagi, Scott Dixon, the top 10. But they will not get the green. The yellow flag remains up.
Because they think Dario got too big a jump over Alex Tagliani. Dario looked as if he had about 10 or maybe 15 car lengths clear of Tagliani, so they said, okay, do it again.
Starter.
Of interest to Dario Franchitti, Alex Tagliani, Cristiano D'Amata, and Tony Kanaan, who started on the first 2 rows of this race, is that in the 3 previous runnings here at Chicago Motor Speedway, a Champ Car driver from the first 2 rows has not won the race.
Oh, look at Kanaan inside of Tagliani down into turn 1. Can he stick his nose in? No, he pulls back.
Another great leap off the green flag from Dario Franchitti. Ooh, outside move there. Was that Michael?
If it's outside, it's usually Michael. I believe it was.
Up to 190 miles an hour on the backstretch before they jump on the brakes and slow to about 120 for the corners. And Michael Andretti remains outside every car he comes across.
Here is bravery personified. Michael is the one that will try anything. Usually has the old-fashioned diamond style. Oh, he tries to pull it off again. He pulls it off.
That's Patrick Carpentier, Alex Tagliani's teammate. Next up is Paul Tracy. Michael Andretti is on a charge.
Ooh, Patrick tries to stick his nose down the inside. You have to be real careful. Now, the outside groove has had precious little running all weekend here. Remember, we're 2 days, not 3 days. So the outside groove does not have as much grip as these guys would like. But you know what? Tell Paul that, or tell Michael that.
Oh, he gets off the corner so well. These two men are technically teammates. Michael in the Motorola car is technical partners with Team Cool Green, for whom Paul Tracy drives. Tracy, the winner of the last 1 mile oval we ran on in Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Down to 125 miles an hour is the slow speed in these corners. We saw Takagi do 193 miles an hour yesterday. That was the fastest car that we saw down the straight. So 190 miles an hour, a good ballpark figure for these straights.
Michael Andretti, the 39 on his car, mirrors his age in his 19th season of Champ Car driving, 42 career victories and 1 championship. Jan Bikas.
And I checked with Michael Andretti's team during that caution, and they thought seriously about pitting, but they changed their mind at the last moment. Kim Green saying that, you know what, I don't want to give up the track position. So now you can see how racy Michael Andretti is. I think that was a very wise move. Ralph?
Jan, I just spoke to Dr. Steve Olvey of the CART medical team. He says that Kenny Breck is going to spend about another 20 minutes to a half an hour inside the CART medical center getting ice on his upper back, up around the shoulder area before he is released. That is the only report of any kind of injury from Kenny Breck at this point.
And Breck, the Swede, took the harder hit by far. As you look at Michael Andretti, and now the race leader, Dario Franchitti.
Dr. Steve Olvey has been in that position since CART started.
That would be back in the late 1970s. As you watch Dario Franchitti with clear track in front of him.
And remember what Dario did earlier this year. He went to Motegi when Tracy wanted the Lola. He elected to stay with the Reynard for the consistency. Then he brought the Lola on, and he is really beginning to look very, very good as we watch Alex Tagliani here, who lost the pole, did I say 1,000 earlier, by 100th of a second, I believe.
Dario Franchitti is just checking out his last lap, 2/10 quicker than anyone else on the racetrack. The gap to Alex Tagliani in second, now 2.7 seconds. Make that 3.1 seconds last time across the stripe. The lap's going down at about 25 seconds per. Dario Franchitti just dipped into the 24-second zone at 24.916. Look at this gap.
We mentioned it at the top of the show. Dario on top of his game yesterday got the flag for the pole. I don't think we anticipated him being quite this strong when you fill these tanks full of fuel and add about 250 plus pounds.
There's a good look at Alex Tagliani in the Players Forsyth car. Jan Bikas has more on him.
And of course, Bob, he is driving the Reynard chassis. We've got both the Lola and the Reynard chassis in the series, and a whole bunch of teams have given up on the Reynard, but of course Forsyth Players Group has not. And Neil Mickelwright, the team manager, told me that they really turned a lot of heads up and down pit road. A lot of people saying, wow, that Reynard really has got a balance. Their strategy today, put some push into the car, make the car push, because they think with these hot conditions, as the day goes on, it'll get big time loose.
And the track will come to them. If you're not familiar with auto racing, the two dominant chassis builders in the series are Lola and Reynard. But the Reynard firm, both firms coming from England, recently went into receivership. So obviously if you